Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to be telling you how to use a mind jar when teaching mindfulness to children. And this works particularly well for children, but it works well with teenagers, and I even use it with adults at times. It works well, brilliant for preschool kids as well, but it's a really great activity. It's probably my favourite activity in terms of how useful it is and how much children connect to it in terms of teaching mindfulness to children. It's the one I think that works the best, and I've made thousands of mind jars with children at this stage, and what I find is often that maybe they might come back after 6 years or something and tell me though they still have their mind jar in their bedroom. They do keep it, and children do connect to it, they do relate to it, and it does give them a good understanding of what happens to the mind when we practice mindfulness. It's a great visual for what happens to our minds and the calming and clearing effect of mindful breathing. So I'm going to begin. I'm just going to show you what I have here. I have a big jar, so I like to use a fairly big jar when I'm teaching mindfulness to kids. You want something strong visually for children when you're teaching mindfulness, and this is really what my approach is all about. You know, when we talk about mindfulness, especially when we're teaching adults, it's very conceptual. It's all these kind of concepts and ideas, and it's real within our own minds, but we can't touch it, we can't feel it, we can't, you know, work with it. So when teaching mindfulness to children, I find what's really good is to use these creative, engaging, experiential activities that kids can really get stuck in and understand for themselves, and then it's something then that they can take away and they have it there. So they might have it there in their bedroom or have it there in their calm space, and it's something they can come back to. So I find children really need and respond well to these strong visual and experiential activities, particularly creative activities that they enjoy and get engaged in, and they remember it and they connect with it a lot better, I think. So having the big jar is a good strong kind of visual filled with water. And then also here I have some glitter, and I suppose one of the criticisms people might have about the mind jar is that it uses glitter, and what I'd suggest is to use environmentally friendly or biodegradable glitter. So I'll just show you. So this one is craft bio glitter. You can also use coloured sands. The visual doesn't work quite as well with the sands, but what you could do is use a few different coloured sands and then like one bio glitter, because they do tend to be a little bit more expensive. So just to say that I also have some coloured beads, and they're to represent memories, and I have some cards here. These are some cards that I've made with artist Rose Finnerty around the different emotions, so you don't need them. I'm just going to show you them in terms of the lesson. I also have one of my books here, which was also illustrated by Rose Finnerty. It's always there. Okay, so what you'd say to the children is that the jar is like their mind, and the glitter is like their thoughts and feelings. And what can be helpful here is to talk to children a little bit about what are the different feelings, because depending on their age, some children will actually really only maybe say, okay, well, happy, sad, angry, maybe, you know, worried, maybe they maybe, usually, especially younger children, maybe 3 or 4 feelings. So what we want to do as we do this lesson is also expand children's emotional literacy, so their understanding of the different types of feelings that we have. So I just have here some cards. They're called Look Who's Here cards again, that were made with Rose Finnerty. They have little ideas on the back, and Rose illustrated them. So I'm just going to show you them. So we've Shocked Cedric, Happy Harriet, Angry Angelina, Frightened Philomena, Embarrassed Edna, Happy Excited Edmund, Sad Sandrina, Shy Cecil, Nervous Nellie, and Worried Walter. And they have little suggestions on the back for when those feelings come to visit. So they can be good to go through before you do this lesson or during the lesson, or even just your own. You can just make your own, so just print out your own feelings from the internet. And also, like, the inside out characters are really good, so especially because they have the colors that represent the different feelings, so red for anger and yellow for joy, and green for disgust. And you can even show a little clip of the inside out movie. There's lots of little clips on YouTube, and that's really good, especially for younger children, to help them kind of connect the idea of the colours to the feelings. So so that's really what we have. So it's very straightforward. I don't use any glue. I know there's lots of different recipes on the internet for different mine jars or glitter jars, but I don't use any glue or hot water or any of that, just plain clear water, and I'll explain why that is as well as I go on. So you begin then, so you show them the jar, and you say the jar is like our minds, and you say, what happens to our minds when we wake up in the morning? What happens? What goes on in our minds? Then you say, well, we begin thinking and feeling. And then you'd ask the children to say, what kind of different thoughts and feelings would we have throughout the day? Now, when you're teaching mindfulness to children, it's very important, I feel, to be authentic, because we have a mind too. It's just the same for ourselves as it is for the kids in a lot of ways, and children really respond to that when you're authentic and when you're real to them about, what's going on within your own mind, but always kind of, sharing, but sharing in an appropriate way for the group that you're working with, or for the children that you're working with. So what can be good is to start it off yourself. So you can say, well, in the morning I might be feeling excited because I'm looking forward to the day ahead, or maybe I'm feeling a little bit tired, a little bit sleepy, and maybe I have some worried thoughts as well, because maybe I'm worried about a few things that I have to do. So you can put the different colored glitters into the jar, and it's good again just to reinforce here the use of the different colors, and the emphasis on lots of different thoughts and feelings. So we don't just have one. We don't just feel happy all day or sad all day. That our feelings, this sense of impermanence, our feelings are constantly changing, they're coming and going, and that this is similar for us all. So this is a sense of common humanity. This is, that we all have these kind of changing emotions and thoughts as we go throughout the day. This is the nature of our mind. So we go throughout the school day like that, and then I would encourage the children that you're working with to say what thoughts and feelings they might have. Now, they can come up and put them in, so they can pick a colour and put it in, or they could shout, put their hands up and tell you, or it depends if you're working one-on-one. This can be helpful as well in maybe a children's therapy session, or maybe if your child is getting individual sessions at school. This is a great activity, and you can really go into a lot more depth with it with a particular child. It can really help you understand what actually is going on in a child's mind, because I find these creative methods really engage the children. They don't even realise, that they're maybe sharing certain things. So it's a way for them to really, for you to really understand, well, what is going on within my child's mind, within my child's emotions. They tend to share in a way that they wouldn't if you were just asking them, well, how do you feel then, or how do you think then? The creative activity engages them in a different way. So I find that's a great kind of advantage, to bring in these creative techniques into teaching mindfulness to children. So you go throughout the day then. So maybe so what might you think or feel when you do maths? So they might say, oh, I might feel sad, I don't like it. And then you might say, oh, when you're doing English, what might you think or feel then? And maybe, oh, I'm feeling excited because I really like English. And maybe someone else doesn't like English. So it's interesting just to see how we all have our own emotions around certain activities as well, that we're not the same in that way, that we're the same but different. So that's helpful as well, kind of in understanding maybe empathy, or understanding how other people experience the world maybe in a different way than we do, in a similar way but also a different way. So you can go throughout the day like that, and maybe going through different situations that the children might be in throughout the day. So maybe when you're outside, you can say, when you're outside and you're playing with your friends, what might you be thinking or feeling then? So you can say, I might feel really joyful or happy. And then you can give a particular instance. So maybe if someone came over and they were saying mean things to you, and what might you think or feel then? And maybe you all might feel angry. And again, going throughout the day, and maybe when they come home from school and all the way to bedtime, you can spend, a whole lesson on this if you want, or just maybe a couple of minutes. It's up to you, but it's worth giving it a bit of time, and certainly engaging, helping the children engage with it. So and also you engaging yourself, so you sharing what some of the thoughts and feelings you might have throughout the day. I also have some little beads in here to show some different memories, and inside out they have the little different beads, the coloured spheres, to show the different types of memories. So you can say, well, what types of memories might we have throughout the day? And we can even go into maybe past thoughts and future thoughts. So what kind of thoughts about the past might we have? What kind of thoughts about the future might we have? What kind of thoughts about ourselves might we have? What kind of thoughts about others might we have? So we can bring all of that in if we want. We can make it quite in-depth and quite complex, and again, we can do, if we were working with a one-on-one with a child, we can go quite in-depth into the mind jar. So then when you have the different, and it's nice to put quite a bit in, so I'm just going to put in a little bit of the sand. So we'll imagine that this is maybe thoughts about the future. Okay. So now I'm going to put the lid on. Then I'd ask the children, what do you think the mind is like then when we've all those thoughts and feelings in it? What do you think it's like? And I'd shake the jar and I'd say, well, sometimes it's like we've a storm in our mind, and our minds are really, really, really busy. And you can say, well, we can have all sorts of storms. We can have worried storms, and we can have excited storms, and we can have nervous storms, and we can have angry storms. And you might give an example then of a time when you've had maybe an excited storm. So sometimes when I'm going to a party, I'm really, really excited. I really want to go. I feel so excited, and sometimes I feel like I have butterflies in my belly, and I feel like my heart's beating fast. And you can say, well, other times I have maybe a nervous storm in my mind, and maybe I have to do something, I have to talk in front of people, and I really don't want to do it, and I might feel a little bit sick, and I might have a little bit of a headache, and I have a nervous storm. And then you can ask the children and shake it again and say, does anybody here ever have a storm in their minds? When did you have a storm in your mind? And what kind of storm was it? Okay. And then you say to the children, does anybody know what we can do to calm down our minds when we have a storm in our minds? Does anybody know how to do that? And what I would say then is that I actually have a little secret that can really calm down our stormy minds. And would anybody like to know what it is? So at this stage then, I'd introduce mindful breathing. And of course, you can introduce it in lots of ways, but I'm going to read a little story from the Mindfully Me series, which is a series that I wrote, and it's illustrated by Rose Finnerty. And there's a little animation of this online as well on my YouTube channel, Skylark Mind. So I'm going to read the story. You don't need this obviously, but it's just to give you an idea. So it says, in this book, you will learn a magical secret. This is the kind of magic that you can use anytime and anywhere. You can use it every day, every week, or as much as you like. The best thing about this secret is that when you use it, it helps you feel more calm, peaceful, and happier inside. Are you ready to find out what it is? I have a little secret that I'd like to share. It's a very special secret. It's for children everywhere. Sometimes when it's cloudy, when the sky is dark and grey, I think the blue sky's gone forever and the clouds are here to stay. Sometimes when I'm sad or cross and worries fill my mind, I think that things will never change, that life is so unkind. Then I use my little secret, and it works so well each time. I put my hand onto my belly, and I know all will be fine. I feel my belly moving as I'm breathing nice and slow. I know I'm in the here and now. I let my worries go. I listen to my breathing and forget about the rest. My mind is slowly clearing. This little secret is the best. And then, as if by magic, I'm feeling good again. My mind has been clearing and the sun's been shining in. Now my mind is calm and clear. It's like the bright blue sky. My thoughts are just like clouds. They're only passing by. Now you know the secret to a calm and happy mind. Just listen to your breathing. It's always there, you'll find. This clears away your troubles until you're calm inside. It clears away the clouds to show the shining bright blue sky. And there's also workbook pages in this book just to show you. So my name is I really love, I wish, I don't like. Sometimes we feel sunny and sometimes we feel stormy inside. Circle the weather you feel inside today, or draw your own. In the here and now, I let my troubles go. So write, draw or tell someone what you see, smell, touch, hear and taste in the here and now. And remember, your thoughts are just like clouds, they're only passing by. Write, draw or tell someone some of the thoughts and feelings you've had today. We are thankful, we are happy about the good things in our lives. Stick a picture of something you are thankful for into the heart. So these workbook pages are actually up on my website, and you can download them and print them for free. So if you just go onto my website www.louiseshanagher.com, you'll be able to print off the workbook pages, and you can do them as many times as you like. So just to show you that. So then I would show the kids, I'd shake the jar again. So shake, shake, shake. I'd say, imagine we have a stormy mind. Oh, it's so stormy. You can even get a spoon as well, and sometimes children might like to come up and stir with a spoon. It's quite nice to do that as well. It's a really nice visual. And then you say, let's have a go with the secret. So let's see what happens when we use the secret. So you'd put your mind jar down. You'd ask the children to put their hands on their tummy. And you'd ask them to close their eyes if they feel comfortable doing so. Then ask them to breathe in and notice their belly moving as they breathe in and out. So breathing in and out. And in and out. And in and out. Then ask them to open their eyes. And now we check the mind jar. So noticing what happened to it. So I'd show the mind jar. So, well, what happened to the mind jar? Is it still really busy? Is it still really stormy? And you can say, is the mind jar more calm or more busy? So it's more calm. Is the mind more stormy or more clear? It's more clear. Are the thoughts and feelings still there? And they are, because we're not trying to change. We're not trying to get rid of our thoughts and feelings, and that's really important. We're just trying to bring more calm and clarity to our minds, more space around our thoughts and feelings. So I'd shake it again, and then I'd ask the children to do 3 more breaths. So another way to do it is ask them to imagine they have a balloon in their belly, so closing their eyes. And I ask them to imagine as they breathe in, filling up the balloon with air. And then letting all the air go. Filling up the balloon with air. And letting all the air go. Filling up the balloon with air. And letting all the air go. eyes and check the jar, and again you say, what happened to it? Has it got more stormy, or has it got more busy, or has it got more clear? And are the thoughts and feelings still there? They are. So what happens? Does the secret work? It does work. And then you might say, well, when do you think you might choose this secret? When might be a good time? And again, coming back to that sense of the authenticity and sharing, you know, that, yeah, well, maybe it's when I think a good time for me to use this, maybe when I'm stuck in traffic and my mind's getting really busy, or maybe when I'm a bit sad, or maybe when I'm cross about something, maybe everything's going wrong, I'm having a bad day. I think that would be a really good time to use a secret. Does any of you know a good time that you think you could use the secret? That could be a nice way of encouraging the children to engage again. So it's important for you to share, and then encouraging the children to engage. So after that, then you might like to encourage the children to make their own mind jars, so even just an empty jam jar. And again, this is just one I made up, but you know, water, again, your glitter and your little colour beads if you want. And again, I'm just making sure that they have the lid on tight, just making sure that to be careful for little kids to carry in the jar, so that maybe, and again, some people might use plastic bottles if you want for little kids, and glue on the plastic lid on the top is a way maybe of recycling bottles in a positive way. But it's up to you what you prefer to use. And again, they can make their own little mind jars, and then when they've made them, practice doing the breathing a few times with them, so they're really getting an idea of what this jar is and what it represents. So I do it a few times, and just show you one more, maybe with hot chocolate breathing. So you know, I might do maybe 3 more practices. So shaking the jar, I say, now everybody shake your jar and show me your busy minds. Show me how busy your mind is. Busy minds. And now we're going to do our hot chocolate breathing, and seeing, does that calm our mind, or what happens to our mind then? So I'd say, imagine you have a lovely cup of hot chocolate, holding it in your hands, breathing in, smell the hot chocolate, breathing out, cool it down, breathing in, smell the hot chocolate, breathing out, cool it down, breathing in, smell the hot chocolate, breathing out, cool it down. Now let's check our mind jar. What happened to it? So it's the same thing again. So they need lots of little mini practices, and then they can bring their jars home. Helpful if you're a teacher to have one jar in your classroom, one jar in the kitchen, and you can refer back to it and say, oh, well, how busy is our minds today? Or does mummy have, or show me how busy your mind is, you know? Mummy has a busy mind today. Let's all maybe practice our secret and see, can we calm our busy minds a little bit? And then everybody practices together. Having it somewhere visible is great, because you're really trying to put across the message that we really acknowledge children's minds and their mental health and their well-being, and that there's a place for that there, whether it's in the home or whether it's in school. And there's things that we can do together as a class or as a family, or even in the therapy office, that can help us when our mind gets busy, and we normalize it. We're just making it an everyday normal part of life. So just like we brush our teeth, we do our breathing. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. Okay, see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.